Hello there. Welcome back to EBM at 6. This video, I want to look at a question from the question paper of November 2024. So we are going to look at question 3 of that question paper. Our question reads, entrepreneurs mainly own small businesses that operate mostly within a specific location or province. Explain the power of small businesses in the South African economy, whereby our question is got 10 marks, and obviously it needs you to raise 5 points, each with 2 marks. So we need to understand how best can we explain or describe a small business. So basically, a small business is a type of business which have small number of employees, mainly described as having a small number of employees, or also it can be described by having low annual revenue. Usually, it consists of less than 500 employees and generates low revenue. So those are some of the parameters that can be used to gauge whether a business is small or not. So our question needs us to explain the power of small business in the South African economy. So obviously, we are trying to deduce what are the benefits that are going to be deduced from small business in the economy. So you'll see that obviously small businesses accommodate most of the workers in the economy. So obviously, it's going to reduce unemployment as it increases the employment rate, which is a benefit that we can quickly pick up. And also, we're going to see that in terms of revenue, also remember the small businesses are also going to uh, buy from other businesses. So in that case, there is an expansion of the revenue base that is going to be there in terms of tax collection by the uh, respectable institution, in terms of the SARS, as they collect revenue, and the revenue base would have been widened. So those are points that are going to support the power of small businesses in the South African economy. We have the middle other section, whereby we are saying they create most of the new job opportunities. More than 90% of the businesses in South Africa come from small businesses. So in that case, also you're going to see that also it's going to lead to economic growth, whereby we are saying we are going to have more production of goods and services in the economy due to those small businesses. At the end of the day, the GDP will increase, which is going to lead to economic growth. We also have third point, saying they serve as a manifestation of the free market system. So they facilitate the existence of the free market system in the economy. Remember, the free market system also has its own benefits in the economy. So we also have the next point, saying um, the approved access to the business world for many people. So they give a privilege for some people to venture into businesses, which is the point that we have here. The last point, they are flexible and adaptable. This can be a benefit from the person running or the owner that is running the that small business. So it becomes an advantage in terms of its flexibility and adaptability. So that's what we have on 3.1. So moving on to the next question that we have is going to 3.2. It reads, organizations are influenced by economic, political, technological, climatic, and various other changes. Explain the benefits of changes for a business. Make use of the following. So changes of a business basically is the business change. So what is a business change? Is we can explain it as a business transformation, which occurs when a business alters its operations. That is a business change. So the transformation can take a place at an organizational level, or we are saying at the whole business level, or it can be a change within a certain department, or it can be a change also from a product group level. So that's how best we can describe a business change. So our question needs us to explain the benefits of changes for a business, making use of the following in terms of the government. So we are saying under the government, it address discrimination in the workplace, such as gender equity. And then other competition, we are saying it allows the business to compete better than their rivals. And for the employee, it helps employees to realize and understand its necessity. And for environment, it opens communication and discussions links to all parties buying into the implementation plan. So obviously, The implementation plan is the one that is bringing up the change. So that's what we have on 3.2. So we move on to the next question, which is now 3.3. It reads, it is the duty and responsibility of top management to formulate policies and strategies for their businesses. When creating a clear business strategy, one should address certain concerns and have clear information and ideas on how to move forward and reach an expected target. Give any 4 questions you should ask yourself when creating a business strategy. So obviously, we need to understand what is a business strategy. But a business strategy basically it refers to the approaches and the moves managers make to achieve specific results in one specific line of business. That is a business strategy. So it comes as an approach that is used by managers. So obviously now we go back to our question. It is give any 4 questions you should ask yourself when creating a business strategy. So you're going to see that the question that we have is what are my markets is the first question that you should ask, which is now in the future, and then also which resources do I need to achieve my goals is another question that has to be asked. How am I going to measure success in terms of parameters that you are going to engage in when you are now measuring success? What is my direction? That is where I am now and to be in the next year. And then lastly, am I realistic about my goals? Remember, the goals has to be achievable, which is the last point that we have. So moving on to the next question, it reads, there are certain basic economic factors to consider when you want to identify the primary economic features of a specific industry in the country and outside of the country. Explain any 6 of such economic factors. So the question is, there are certain basic economic factors to consider when you want to identify the primary economic features of a specific industry. So basically, the economic features, these are economic characteristics. These are economic characteristics. How do we identify a specific industry? What are the specific characteristics that we use to identify or to measure a specific industry? Obviously, we are going to include issues like size of the market. The size of the market also can also be used to identify a specific industry. That is, it comes as a characteristic that makes us identify a specific industry. So if you look there, we have got them. We talk about the size of the market. Can tell us how big is the industry and how small is the industry. That is important. The market growth. What is the market growth that characterize that specific industry? The number of competitors that are inside can also tell us how big it is. Scope of the competitors, industry probability, rapid technology, capital requirements, and number of buyers. All those can be used obviously to identify specific industries. So that's what we have in a question. Obviously requires 6 of them is indicated in the question. So on the last part of our question, it reads, a well-designed and written mission statement is useful to managers, substantiate the above statement. So a mission statement in particular, also we need to understand what exactly is a mission statement. So a mission statement is a statement of purpose that distinguishes a business from competitors. So basically what the mission statement should highlight are the specifics that distinguish our business from other businesses, and it also identifies the scope of the business in the market. And we are saying at the end of the day, a mission statement should provide the image of the business. So the image of the business is presented in the mission statement, and it should also reflect the business identity. It should also indicate the product and services of the business. So basically, that's what we have. So it has to be a very clear and concise statement when it is a mission statement. So our question needs us to it reads, a well-designed and written mission statement is useful to managers. Substantiate the above statement. So why it should be a well-designed and written mission statement, and how why it should be useful to managers. So basically, that is what we are going to substantiate in our other section. So we are saying A mission statement should be used to compare the purpose of the business. That is the first point that we have. It should help the managers to have vision. It helps the manager to prepare for the future. So basically, it's bringing out the importances of a mission statement. It help to keep the low-level manager in the right path and conveys the purpose of the business, conveys the identity of the business to the employees. So basically, these are the points that we have, and this becomes the last point, the last question that we have according to this video. Thank you for listening, and hopefully the video was helpful. And please, let's stay tuned for more videos to come. More typical examination questions will be uploaded. We'll meet again in the next video.